Hi everyone. In this video we are going to discuss the various decision making structures in Java. So what is a decision making is normally if there are multiple alternatives to be executed and if you want to choose any one of the alternative based on a conditions evaluation, it's called decision making. In many of our applications we want to have decision making. For example, if you are writing a simple program to accept the age of a person as input and you want to decide whether the person is eligible to vote or not, in that case you have to take a decision based on the age of that person. If the age of the person is 18 and above, then the decision is to allow him to vote. If the age of the person is below 18, then is to denied the voting, right? So this is what decision making we want to do, right? Like this, in many applications, we want to take many decisions. In Java, we have variety of decision making structures. For example, if else, nested if else if, and switch case statements. So these are all the decision making statements available in Java. Let us discuss this decision-making structures in detail one by one. First, let us start with the simple if statement. Actually, it's the most simple decision-making statement in Java. And if you want to decide whether a block of statements to be executed or not, in that case, you can use if statement. If the condition given in the if statement is evaluating to true, then the block of statements will be executed. Otherwise, not. Actually, when the condition is evaluating to false, then no alternative is provided. That means what will be happening when the condition is false is not considered at all. In this case, if is the keyword that is used, and a condition is to be provided. And what is that condition? Condition is an expression. It's a logical expression that is created using logical operators like greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to and not equal to. Now, if the condition is evaluating to true, the set of statements belong to this if block will be executed. And one important thing is, if you are not providing the curly braces immediately after this if statement, then by default, the first statement, which is immediately following this if condition, will be considered as part of the if statement, and the remaining statements are not considered as part of the if statement. Now let us move to the program example. Let us create a small class, for example, if demo, and let me open the editor and let me type the program. Let me create the class if demo, and let me create the main method public static void main, then string argus. Now let me define a variable with the name age, and which is, since the age is a completed number of years, then let us take it as an integer variable. So int age, and I want to get the age of a person as the input from the user. So I want to declare the scanner object in my class. So scanner in equal to new scanner of system.in. Now, if you want to use the scanner class in your program, then you have to import the util package. So import java.util.star. Now the scanner package, actually scanner class, is imported into your program. So now you can use a scanner class methods. Now let us give a small description to the user. System.out.println, enter your age, and since age is an integer variable, you want to use a method which is a member of the scanner class, and that is going to accept the next token as integer. and which is that method. Actually, next int is the method. So next int is to be called to get the integer value as input from the user. Since next int is the member of the scanner class, you have to call it using the object of next int. Once you get the value from the user, then you can assign it to the variable age. Now, the age of the person is available, and ultimate aim of this program is to decide whether this person is eligible to vote or not. So what you can do is, actually, I am going to simply write a simple if statement, and it starts with the if keyword, and I am comparing the age of the person against the value 18. So if the value of age is greater than or equal to 18, that means 18 and above. So 18 and above can be given in Python, sorry, Java programming language condition in the form of a logical expression like age is greater than or equal to 18. So if this condition is satisfied, then you can say that system.out.println eligible to vote. For example, let me give a message eligible to vote. Right? So now let me compile the program. Actually, if the age of the person is not greater than or it is not greater than or equal to 18, that means if it is less than 18, then what will happen? Actually, it is not mentioned in the if statement. Okay. So it's a simple if statement. If the condition is false, then what will happen? It is not considered at all. Right now, let us compile the program. So compile it, and no syntax error in the program, and let us run the program. And it's asking to enter your age. Let me give 23 for example, and the person is eligible to vote. Now let me run the program, and let me give the age of the person is less than 18. Let me give 12. Right, enter your age 12. Okay, actually the thing is, it's not responding, right? Because actually we are not writing any code when the condition is not satisfied. So if the age of the person is below 18, how to respond for it? It's not taught to the program, it's not taught to the no instruction is given regarding that. So it's false condition is not considered at all. In many of the cases, using simple if statement is not working, right? So it's not helpful. So what we can do is, suppose if the condition is not satisfied or if the condition is false, then how to respond for it? So that is to be provided. So to achieve that, we can go for next type of if statement or next form of if statement, that is if else. So if else is actually it's simple if statement, but a set of statements to be executed when the condition is false is also provided. So there are two alternatives now. If the condition is true, then execute a set of statements that belong to if block. And if the condition is false, that means else, execute another set of statements in the else block. So now it will work a little better, right? It is considering the false case and false condition also. So in that case, some applications can satisfy, some applications can use this if else statement to get better results. Let us move to the program. Now, if the age of the person is below 18, what to do? And that is to be taught to the program through else part. So in the else part, now what we are doing is, in the else part, what we are doing is, actually we are saying that the person is not eligible to vote. So just we are denying the vote, right? So system.out.println not eligible to vote, right? So now else part is saying that if this condition is not satisfied, then this will be the response, right? So let us compile the program. No syntax error. Let us run the program. Now we are entering the age, for example 18. It's saying that the person is eligible to vote. Now let us give a value that is giving the false condition, or the condition evaluates to false, right? For example, let me give the same input 12, and you see now it's responding not eligible to vote. So there are two alternatives, eligible to vote and not eligible to vote. So for eligible to vote, we are providing the condition, and if the condition is not satisfying, then we are saying that the person is not eligible to vote, right? So now this is if else. Let us move to next form of uh, if statement. It's called nested if. What is nested if? An if statement within another if statement is called nested if. Or one if else statement within another if statement is called nested if statement. So here, for example, condition or if the condition 1 is satisfied, then it will check for condition 2. So if and only if condition 1 is evaluating to true, then condition 2 will be evaluated. And if condition 2 is evaluated, then the set of statements that belong to condition 2 will be executed, right? So here the if block that contains condition 1 is actually covering the if block with condition 2, or in other way we can say that if block with condition 2 is actually contained within if block contains condition 1, right? So now let us have a small example on this nested if. Let me take a case. I want to have three variables as input, and I want to decide which is largest, right? So let me create a class largest, and let me create the class largest. So class largest is the name of the class, opening brace, then closing brace. Then let me write the main method. So public static void main string argus. Now let me assume three variables, integer a, comma b, comma c. So I am assuming three variables because I want to compare three values, especially the integer values, and I want to see which is the largest, right? So I want to have three variables corresponding to three values. Now let me declare the scanner object, since I am going to get this values a, b, c from the user. So scanner in is equal to new scanner of system.in. Now you want to import the util package into your program, since you are using the scanner class, which is a member of util package. So import java.util.star. Now you are ready to accept the inputs from the user. That means the values of a, b, c from the user. Let me give a small description to the user. System.out.println, enter any three integer numbers, right? So now the description is given. Let us take the values of a, b, c from the user as input. So in that case I have to use, for example, in.nextInt, since this a, b and c are the integer values, right? I'm getting the values from the user and I'm assigning it to e, for example. Then like this I am getting the value of b. So b equal to in.nextInt, and then c equal to in.nextInt. Now what's the target or motive of this program is to find the largest of these three, right? A, B and C. So A may be largest, or B may be largest, or C may be largest. So we don't know, or we by seeing it we can say that, but program will not know which is largest just by seeing the numbers. So how it will decide whether A is largest or B is largest or C is largest is by comparing every value with other two values. Suppose if the value of A is greater than B and greater than C, then it can say that A is largest, right? So in that case, how can we check? Let us check first, right, whether A is greater than B. If A is greater than B, then we can further check whether A is greater than C. So, right now, if that is also satisfied, we can say that system.out.println A is largest, right? So here we are nesting one if within another if. So initially we are checking whether A is greater than B. If A is greater than B, then we are going to check whether A is greater than C. So if first condition is satisfied, then we are checking for the second condition. If second condition is satisfied, then we are saying that A is largest. So the same case is possible with B also, right? So if B is greater than A, in that case, if it is greater than C also, right, then you can say that B is greatest. So if B is greater than A, then immediately check whether B is greater than C. In this case, you can say that B is largest. B is largest. Now, for this C, again we have to check the same set of cases. If C is greater than A, then you can check whether C is greater than B, right? So if C is greater than A, then after that, if it is satisfying, then C is greater than B, right? Then you can say that system.out.println C is greatest or largest, right? Now the program is over. Let us compile the program. See, actually, I am giving three values, and let us take one value in A, another value in B, and third value in C. And initially, we will check whether the first value is greater than other two values. If so, then we can decide that the first value is largest. But how can we decide it? Whether first we are checking whether A is greater than B. If that condition is satisfied, then we can go to check whether A is greater than C. Right? So first condition is checked, and if it is true, then second condition is checked. So in that case, one if was nested within another if, right? So this the same case is repeated for B and C also. Right, now let us compile the program, and now no syntax error, and let us run the program, and it's asking to enter the integer numbers. For example, let me give 20, then 10, then 30. You see, now it's working. 30 is largest. Okay. So what you want to understand is, you want to understand, you can nest one if statement within another if statement. Okay. This is called nested if statement. Okay. So now this is the third form of if statements. Let us move to the next form of if statement. This is called if else later. Suppose if user is having multiple alternatives, so if user is having a lot of alternatives, and among all these alternatives, any one will be executed, or any one should be chosen for execution. In that case, you can go for if else later. In this case, initially one condition will be checked in the if block, and if the condition is not satisfied, then further we are checking many conditions in many else if blocks. For example, if condition, if it is not satisfied, else if another condition, if it is not satisfied, else if another condition, if it is not satisfied, else if another condition. It's going like that, and if none of the conditions given is satisfied, then finally what is available in else block will be executed. So this is what the nature of if else later. Let us write a small program on if else later. Let me assume a simple calculator. Okay, so let me create a class calculator. So calculator, and this calculator is going to do four functions. So user is given four choices, and he can choose any one of the choices among that four. So in this case, if or if else or even nested if cannot work. So here we can go for if else ladder, right? So let us go for else if else later. Now let me write a class calculator, right? And let me write the main method. So public static void main string argus. Now what we want to do is we want to have two numbers as input. Let me assume that integer a and b. These two are the numbers I am going to process in this calculator. Right? Now let me declare the scanner object. So scanner in is equal to new scanner of system.n. After that, you want to import the scanner package into your scanner class into your program. Let me import the scanner class directly. So import java dot util dot, instead of star I am using scanner class itself. I am importing the scanner class alone into my program, right? So now what I am doing is I am getting the inputs from the user actually I am getting the values of a and b as inputs from the user. Now let me give a small description to the user. System dot out dot println enter any two integer numbers. Now let me get the values from the user. For example, a equal to in dot next int, like that. B equal to in dot next int. So two values are obtained from the user. Now what I am doing is I want to get uh, the choice value from the user. That means the calculator can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So out of this four, any one can be chosen by the user. He is entering two values to be processed. After that, he is deciding which process or which operations to be performed on that particular two values. So that is to be obtained from the user as input. So for that, what I am doing, I am giving the user a description, system.out.println enter your choice, right? What are the choices available? Yes, let me give the choices. System.out.println. For addition, you can press plus, right? You can give plus as the option for addition or choice for addition. Then for subtraction, you can give subtraction or minus symbol, right? So this is for subtraction. Subtraction. Then next one is multiplication. For multiplication, he can press star symbol. Now for division, he can press slash symbol. Now four choices are given to the user, and out of this four, user can choose any one. So to have the choice, we can use another variable. For example, choice, and since we are getting a character plus, minus, star or slash as input, it's a character. So let me declare the ch in the type char, right? So char ch is equal to. Now how can you get the character as input from the user? Already we discussed how to get the character from the input, characters input from the user in another video on no, how to obtain inputs from the user using scanner class, especially how to obtain the characters in that video. So refer that video to get the idea on how to get the characters as input from the user. But anyway, you can obtain a word first. So that means you can get that single character you are entering as a word, and from that word you can extract the first character by using char at of 0, right? Now the choice is available. So once the choice is available, now based on the choice, out of these four operations, any one operation can be executed. And if the user is not entering or not pressing any of these four symbols, plus, minus, star, or slash, then it's an invalid operation chosen. So that message can be given, right? So for this, already since there are four conditions to be checked, whether it is addition or subtraction, multiplication or division, we can go for if, else later. Now let us use it. First, let us start with if the ch is equal to the plus symbol, right? So it's a character, right? So let us compare the character ch entered by the user with a character plus, right? In that case, what you can do is uh, you can add the values. For example, a plus b, right? But you want to store the result in another variable. Let us declare a result variable. So integer res is equal to 0, right? Now result variable is declared, and now we can assign the sum of these two in the result variable, right? Else, now this, if suppose if user is not pressing plus, then again we have other three choices, right? We cannot simply say do something else, because we have other three choices. So let us check whether the user pressed subtraction symbol, that means minus symbol. In that case, you can go for an else if, right? So in this case, actually you no need to have this brace, because there is only one statement belong to this if. So brace is not mandatory, you can just omit the brace, right? Now else if what's the condition, whether ch is equal to minus. Sometimes user may press minus. Okay, in this case, what do you want to do? You want to add or subtract these two values. Okay, so e minus b, for example, and store the result back into the result variable res or res. Now if these two are not satisfied, the user not press plus or not minus, then he may press star or slash. Let us assume that if it is star, okay, so else if ch equal to star, right? In this case, we have to perform multiplication, right? So res is equal to a into b, right? Now fourth choice, if he has not entered plus, minus or star, then it may be slash, right? Division. So if if ch equal to slash, right? So it's equal to slash, right? In this case, what you can do is you can divide the number, right? So result is equal to a by b, right? And so now four choices are there. Suppose if the user not pressed any of these four, then finally if he is pressing something different, simple, then in that case it's not available as choice. In that case, you can simply omit it. So by having it in else part. So in else part, you can print system dot out dot println invalid operation, right? That's all. So now the result is available in the variable res, right? It may be sum of two numbers a and b, or subtraction, or the remainder of a minus b, or product of a and b, or quotient after a by b. So anything may be there. So finally let us print this value of this result. So let us print the value of result. System dot out dot println uh, the result is equal to this. We are just printing the result. Let us compile the program. There is no syntax error. Let us run the program. Now it's asking for entering any two integers. Let me give 20 and then 10. Now there are four choices displayed to the user. Whether for addition he can press plus, or for subtraction he can press minus, or for multiplication he can press star, or for division he can press slash. So let me choose slash. as the operation. That means I go for division operation. So 20 by 10 I expect, right? 20 by 10 is 2. Let me check. Yes, the result is equal to 2, right? So now the calculator is working properly and it has four choices, and out of this four, any one may be entered by the user or chosen by the user. So depending upon the value of this choice, right, any one of these alternatives is executed. So now if else header is used when there are multiple choices or multiple alternatives or multiple set of statements to be executed, and out of that any one has to be chosen for execution, then you can go for if else later. But we have another decision making structure in Java, that is called switch case statement, and the switch case statement can be used in the place of this if else later, right? So now let us move to the next structure, switch case structure. See, switch case structure is used to execute any of many alternatives. So if you are given multiple alternatives as we did in calculator, and if you want to choose any one of the multiple alternatives based on the case values supplied to the switch statement. So one case value, one choice value is supplied as input to the switch statement, and based on the value of the switch statement, any one of the cases will be executed. Suppose if the case value entered by the user is not matching with any of the case values in the cases given in the case statement, then finally the default statement will be executed. So here switch is the keyword, and within set of parentheses we are providing a case value, and this case value is compared against the case values available in every individual case, and if any one of the case value is matching, then corresponding set of statements will be executed. Now let us check this switch case statements execution with a small demo, and let me use the same case, calculator case, and instead of using if and else later, I am going for switch case statement, right? So all the others are same, right? Except the structure I am going to use. Now inputs are A and B, and choices are plus minus star slash. Okay, and result is going to be stored into res, right? Now, how can I do this in switch case statement? So I'm writing the switch case statement, switch of, then case variable is actually choice. So choice is actually deciding what operation is to be carried out. So I am using ch as the case variable, right? Now you see what are the cases possible, whether it may be plus or minus or star or slash, right? So let me start writing it in the switch case. Every case starts with the keyword case, and after that a space, then the case value. For example, here it is plus, the character plus. Then it ends with a colon. Now let me write what are the statements possible within this case is actually calculation of sum of A and B. Once user is pressing plus, then what will happen in the cases actually sum of A and B, right? So here A and B are added, and a result is stored back into res. Okay, right. Now, once you calculate, once a case is matching, right, and the remaining cases are no need to be executed. Actually, out of the multiple choices, any one choice is to be executed. Suppose if the case is matching with plus itself, the value entered by the user or the choice entered by the user is plus itself, then it will match with the first case itself. So no need to execute the remaining cases. In that case, we can use a break statement. This break will actually it will exit a block, right? So what is the block here? A set of statements within set of this curly braces of the switch block, right? This called block here, and if you apply break statement here, then it will exit that particular switch case block. Okay, right? Suppose if the case is not matching, then it will be compared against next case, right? What is the next case? It's subtraction, right? Suppose if it is a subtraction is the case, then what do you want to do? You want to subtract A from B and store the result back into C. Once you calculate if that is the case matching, then remaining cases no need to be executed. So just break, right? Else you can go for next condition. So what is that? Case is actually it may be multiplication, right? So in this case, what will you do? just multiply the value of A and B and store the result back into C, right? And break, right? Now, last case is actually slash, that means division. So in this case, what we will do, we will divide A by B and store the quotient back to rest, right? And break it. Once this case is matching, remaining cases no need to be executed, just break, right? Suppose if none of the case is matching, that means if the user is not entering any of these four choices, then it's not there in the cases. In that case, default will be executing. So default case will be executing, and default case starts with the keyword default. And here we are printing invalid operation. System dot out dot println invalid operation, right? So now after this, any of these four cases, the rest is calculated and finally it can be printed as like in the previous program. Now let us compile it, and there is no syntax error. And now let us run the program, right? Now enter any two integer numbers, right? Let me give the same 20 and 10. You see now it's giving four choices: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now let me choose the multiplication as an operation, right? Now I expect that it has to multiply 20 and 10 because we have four choices, and how it will execute I will explain. Okay, now I expect that 20 into 10, that is 200, will be the result. Yes, the result is 200. Now how it is working, when I enter star, that means star multiplication simple, first it will be there in ch, right? We are getting it from the user and it is stored in ch. Now we are giving switch of ch. Now this ch is the case variable, and that is compared against every case value you are providing in this cases. So if it is star, it will not satisfy it, or it will not be equal to that plus. So that case will not be executed. Then if it is matching with minus, no, star is not equal to minus, so it's not satisfying this. If it is matching with star, yes, because we gave star or multiplication symbol as input to the ch, and already this it is matching with the case multiplication. So immediately what will happen, the set of statements within this block will be executed. So here we gave one statement, that means multiplication of a and b, and the result is stored back into this, right? And once the multiplication, that all the operations are carried out, that case is completely done, no other cases need to be executed. In that case, you have to come out of the case statement, or come out of the switch statement or switch block by using the break statement, and remaining cases are skipped. For example, if there are multiple cases after this case star, all this will be skipped. Here there is only one case after this star, that is slash. After the default is also skipped, right? So how this is how it is working, right? Now one important thing, suppose if I miss to no give this break, I am making this as a comment, that means a break is missing, or otherwise a break is missing here after multiplication is ended. So what will happen? Okay, let us check it. Okay, let me compile the program. There is no, it's not a syntax error. I missed the break statement. Okay, let me run it. Okay, so enter any two integer numbers. Let me give 20, then 10, and four choices are given. Let me choose star as I chose in the previous output, but it's giving 2 as a result. Actually, it is not the correct result, right? When I give multiplication, it has to give 200 as a result, but initially it was giving 200 as a result. Now it is giving 2 as a result. Why? Because you see, in the program, after this case multiplication, I have made no, I have not given this break. I made a command, so in that case it will not execute, right? So there is no break. What will happen is, when there is no break, then the next statement after this rest calculation will be continued. So what is the purpose of break? Break will make that particular block skipped or terminated once the case is matching, right? But here the case is matching, so we expect that multiplication will be done. At the same time, there is no break statement. So immediately the execution will continue from the next case. So and it will go into this case. It will not check for the condition. It will simply, what it will do is it will calculate, right, the result of A by B, and the result will be printed. Now here is a break. Okay, so it's not a problem. So instead of multiplication, it is coming to next case, and the result calculated finally, right? So actually what is expected is A star B, but after that it was calculated, but after that it entered into the next case since there was missing of break in that case. So it is calculating the division also, and it is assigning the new value to rest, and now new value of rest is printed. That's why we are getting 2 as a result when you are multiplying 20 and 10, right? So this case is called fall through. This is called fall through. What is fall through? Fall through is actually missing of break statements in any of the cases, and due to that the execution will continue through the forthcoming cases until another break is encountered. So that is what called as fall through. So these are all the various decision making statements in Java, and we discussed them with simple examples. So I hope that you understood, you got the overview of various decision making statements in Java, like if else, nested if, then if else later, and switch case statement. Okay, and I hope that you like this video and subscribe the channel Programmer for Programmers by Felix, and press the bell button for further notifications, and happy programming.